Alrighty, welcome everyone to the very first episode of the SHTD podcast. My name is Anthony. Today, I'm here joined by.
What's up? I'm Shahir. You can call me Shiro.
What's up? My name's Howell, or you can call me Angelo.
Tempest here.
Alright, also known as Moises. You may be wondering why this podcast is called the SHTD podcast, but it's actually an acronym, a combination of our names on Discord. Shahir being Shiro, Angelo being Howell, Moises being Tempest, and me, the most
Decimal.
awesome host, Decimal. All right, boys, how are we doing today?
Good.
Overall, good.
Pretty chill overall. Nothing much happening today.
All right, that's very good. We don't have anything planned. We're just here to talk. Any issues lately that any of you want to talk about?
I mean, this is a pretty big one.
I hate that.
All right, if it's a big one, would you like to talk about it?
All right, let's talk about coronavirus then. How about we do that?
Oh shit! Hell yeah!
It's not a big deal, honestly.
The Wu flu.
This is not a kids
The
program.
Wu
by the way.
flu. But yeah.
Let's talk about the Wu flu. Why not? What is there to talk about?
I mean, the fact that like 6 people have died in this country, specifically in Seattle, Washington.
True.
I mean, that this is all recent, but the death toll rises in China. Recently got contracted in a lot of places in Europe, Italy, UK. There's some places glittered all around the U.S. that
It's
have
literally not a big deal. Like, the flu kills more people each year.
I mean, the coronavirus is about to kill more people than the
Yeah,
flu.
that's true.
it.
But
And there is no cure for it.
but for me,
Yeah.
I think the media is just making it worse and making it over exaggerated.
That's
Yeah,
what
I feel
media
like
does
there's-
all the time, though. That's
Yeah,
how they make. That's how they make a
there's-
quick buck off of this shit. But
There's a lot of outrage. I think
Like
it's
if
causing
you,
too
if
much
you think
panic.
about it, it's killing more than flu, but it's only killing people like low chances of even surviving. Like I don't know, fucking like the common cold if they don't have any medication for them, right?
basically,
So,
like
old
elderly people,
elderly people,
yeah.
and like people like chronic diseases.
or people that are very young, like a
True.
lot younger than us. But
Hang on, before we continue, Mr. Angelo, are you eating right now?
Maybe.
Okay. So as you can see, everything that we say on this podcast, please take it with a grain of salt.
Yes.
At the end of the day, facts don't care about your feelings. So
All
try
right,
not to
Mr.
get
Shapiro,
offended.
calm the fuck down.
All right, you fucking right wing.
Okay,
okay, boomer.
let's talk about
All
another
right,
topic.
let's try to stay away from politics for the
time
the
being.
very first episode.
Alright, so, Anthony,
So,
what are your
yeah, what's up?
thoughts on white knighting?
Okay.
Okay, champ. Okay, champ.
White knighting. I feel I feel like I don't, to be honest, I'm not a white knight, and I will weird champ any white knights.
I don't like the white knights at our school.
we have we have them.
Yes, if you play closely,
let's
attention, they're everywhere.
let's use code names. Let's use code names so we don't trigger anyone.
No, who
We
cares
do
if we
not wish to
trigger
get
people?
lawsuit. We do not wish to get lawsuit.
True.
Please.
What are they gonna do? Attack us?
They will.
No,
In
they're
court.
gonna yeah.
You guys ever hear that phrase "being too honest"?
Yeah.
That's this motherfucker right now.
No, you can't be too honest.
Okay, for people that don't know, Tempest or Moises is a bit further on the right side. Shahir, Shiro is further on the left side. And me and Anthony are basically more centrists.
I'm like moderate right.
Moderate and right. I'm a tiny
like
bit
moderate
like
left,
moderate
the fuck?
left. No, fuck no. You're fucking. You're a bit further left.
I'm
than
not
right.
further. I'm like
There's-
moderate left.
I would like to point out that there's no left or right side. There's only a correct side, and I'm part of the correct side.
you can see this fucker's on top. Okay. For those that are listening in, y'all can see why I said he's right side. I didn't say like little bit right side. No, motherfucker's right side.
All right. So to talk about different things, let's how did we even come up with the idea of making this podcast? Like what
I guess
what-
we were having me, Howell, and Decimal were having like we're all like sitting on a fucking Conquer server playing Conquer, just hopping around trying to hit.
Conquer sponsor us?
Yeah, please do.
We're sponsored by
fucking
Dollar
freelancers,
Shave
huh?
Club.
Why
No,
the
no,
fuck are
we
you
can't say
saying-
that.
Okay,
we can't
anyways.
say that.
Conquer, please sponsor us for freelance.
Really anything. McDonald's.
Yeah.
You're unhealthy as fuck, but I still eat you. So
You're the reason
Please
why
sponsor us.
I can go to school with a fucking diarrhea. Thank you,
Yeah, but
McDonald's.
anyway, so I feel like
McDonald's,
this
you're an
podcast
alternate.
originally started because with me, Howell, and Decimal were all having like a very like
Intimate moment.
in-depth conversation.
I
one
completely
night.
forgot what we were talking about that
I
day.
think we were talking about fucking.
We're talking about like random like
Uh,
religious like views.
We were talking
Oh,
about
yeah, we were
religious
talking about-
values and-
We were talking about religion. We were talking about what happens after death.
Yeah, that's a
And
pretty deep conversation.
Like it was like the type of like marijuana deep. Like you smoke some shit and then you just went deep into it. You're like, yeah, this is.
keep
this
in
shit,
mind,
but-
most of us here has not done any type of drink.
That's not true,
Alcohol,
but
but-
okay.
Hey, I'm
Okay.
about to do some alcohol soon. You know.
Man has
It's
been
good.
drinking way
That's a
too
personal
early.
issue, my friend.
You guys ever party?
We should not
No,
go into
'cause,
those topics
I'm-
because I
I-
wish not to get fucking court-martialed. Thank you.
No, you don't have to talk. You're good. Okay. Never mind.
It doesn't matter. You can
sorry.
say or not say.
Angelo is going into the Marines. So thank you for your future service, my friend.
You're welcome.
You will be
Angelo,
honored
what
and
inspired you
respected
to go
by
into
us
the
for many
Marines?
years to come.
No, it just caught my attention, like the physical
Oh,
aspects.
dude, I just fucking realized when Howell leaves, it's gonna be called the SDD podcast.
It's okay. He will never leave. You know why? Because he will use whatever means he has of recording his own voice
I will find a way
to communicate
Hell
with
yeah,
us.
that's my boy.
So like the first 3 months,
Anyways.
I'm either gonna fucking break fucking like boot camp rules, or y'all not gonna hear anything from me for 3 months, and then I'm just gonna be on like 24/7.
Do you think you're gonna be able to
Hell
survive
yeah.
boot camp?
Oh fuck yeah,
Of course, dude. Do you not
fuck yeah.
see this man
This
at school?
pure specimen, perfect specimen.
I'm just
Okay, I
here
wouldn't say
eating
perfect.
my food, and y'all fucking call me like specimen. I'm like
Yeah, right. Okay. As you can see, we're getting different sides of our personalities. All right. Shit, I totally forgot what I was gonna say. Somebody else take the reins for a couple seconds here.
All right.
Okay, so-
let's get back on topic. How we came up with
Okay,
the
that was-
podcast. We came up
That's
with the podcast
what we were
because,
talking about.
because we
I
were
have
just talking about
short-term
random
memory
shit. And we're
loss.
like,
Not
you know
really,
what? Might
do
as well
not-
just fucking.
Yeah,
fuck
that
with
was
shit.
a
A
Fuck
joke.
with
podcast,
that.
yeah, our ideas can kind of clash, but I also feel like a lot of us mutually agree on shit.
Yes, that's the.
I feel like that's-
the point of the podcast.
Some
That's,
more than others. I'm not
that's-
gonna point any
that's-
fingers here, but you know.
Yeah, I wonder.
See, that's
I wonder who.
disagreements are good for a healthy
But-
discussion.
Here's the thing. I think so. My like take on like relationships or like any sort of connection you have with people is that there are bound to be like arguments or disagreements, and if you don't have like any of those, I feel like the relationship isn't really healthy.
Is that why your
Yep,
last
that's-
relationship
Especially-
didn't last?
What I just said.
Especially like sometimes you can, sometimes things don't just work out, but a lot of times having some disagreements can be a good thing because you know it shows that you're having a healthy relationship.
Talk about your breakup.
breakup.
The fuck?
You don't need to
Ooh.
mention this person's name, but like just talk about what happened.
I mean, I guess I could, but Pretty much what ended up happening was the person ended up becoming too attached to me.
Okay.
So I started saying that she needed to give
Narcissism
me
much?
some like personal space. But she would not really give me that. So she would basically like put on her Instagram story or like subtweet me or something, saying that I'm fucking the worst person ever, and I'd be guilt tripped into like talking to her half the time. So then I had to come out and tell her that like she needed to stop, and we sort of had an argument, and then I said that I think it's best if we just stop there.
True,
If you
true.
want to know who I was dating, it was one of my childhood friends, who I thought I could mesh well with, but turns out things don't just
So
work that
even
way.
your closest friends will hurt you.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
what does this
I'm
person
gonna
expect you
I'm
to
gonna
do?
segue.
Just
I'm gonna
text them all
no no
day?
no 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 no.
Okay, okay, okay.
Call them.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna segue, all right? I'm gonna use that example. I'm gonna segue. Trust issues. Who has them here?
Uh, I guess
Hmm.
I do because I put trust in everyone, even people I don't really know. But once that trust has been removed or like displaced, or I don't know how it faded away based on your actions, you no longer gain the exact same amount of trust that I gave you when we first met.
For
Basically.
me, like, there's only one thing. If I don't trust you, then you're my enemy.
Okay, okay.
Okay, Crusader, fucking. If
I
I do
guess
not
like
like you, you dead.
I'm like sort of similar to Angelo there actually, but
You're not supposed to
I'm
trust
not
a lot of people.
too I'm not I don't trust too many people. I will trust people if they seem like genuine enough.
I'm a vibe check you. That's basically what I do. I vibe check you. Like your vibe, you stay. If
From
I don't like you, your my communism blood will come out and just be like, "Ah, la, la, la."
okay, all right, calm down. He's from Cuba, by the way. Um, for me, I find it difficult to share. I don't know, maybe personal information with somebody, even if it's someone that you've known forever, or are you're like just you click, you vibe with this person really well, and you're like best friends and shit. I still feel like you know literally a flip of a coin, they can turn on you, and pretty much everything they've said to you or you've said to them, they can use to
Did this
basically
happen to
hurt
the
you.
last person you tried to vibe with?
Um, it's happened to a couple people. Ever since that, I just learned to keep my mouth shut when I need to.
How has this
But
affected you?
I literally just said it.
Okay, well, I don't know.
I'm very. I feel like I have less trust in people.
Mm.
That's fair, I think. Especially if you've like I guess it also depends on like the background the person's coming from, because a lot of times people can just have a lot of time like um a, a much more harder time opening up to people. Even if they like grow closely attached. And I feel like here's where I told Angelo this the other day, or how this the other day, but I feel like a lot of times you will end up having a lot easier time opening up to people you don't really know about your problems, which is where like this is where share similar sentiments with Angelo, where I don't really have I have some trust issues, but not that many. Um, but a lot of times you'll have a lot easier time meshing or telling people that you don't really know your problems, because it can generally help. If you know the person a lot, um, I don't think it can help depending on what advice they give you, but it's honestly better to have someone just listen, you know?
Okay, yeah, that's true. I feel like this is gonna sound very narcissistic, but I feel like I'm a good listener. Um,
I'm a bad listener.
that.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
fucking
obviously,
opinion. You
yeah,
opinion
Mister
on
Fucking.
everything.
I'm gonna interrupt you.
I
I'm
just
just
lose
playing.
interest in hearing other people's opinions, especially if I don't agree with them. You know.
That is how you have a toxic conversation right there.
I don't think it's even toxic. Cause like if you're saying something like dumb, like I'm not gonna pay attention to you. It's your fault.
But what can be
But
considered
what
dumb
would you
is
determine
your
as
own
dumb? Yeah,
opinion of what is
exactly.
Yeah,
considered
what would you
dumb.
determine as dumb? What
Oh,
the
I
fuck?
think a lot of
Considering
opinions are
something,
dumb.
there's no national standard of dumb. I mean, there is, SAT score.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
let's not
it's
talk
a-
about. Let's not talk
little
about
bit
that.
nasty.
Let's not talk about that. Backpedal a bit.
I don't think anyone in here got lower than
Wait,
like,
hang on,
like
hang on.
1200
Speaking
on
speaking of
I did.
SATs, hold up. All right, we're all seniors right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
The juniors currently are given a free SAT.
That's
this year.
That's
I actually did not know about. Okay, that's what that was.
Because they're
alright.
privileged.
okay.
True.
Okay, it goes to privilege with the
But-
medical right.
No, shut the. Okay, stop. Stop. Can we just talk?
This podcast.
How come-
y'all should understand this. This
How,
this podcast
okay, how
is
come?
making just talking over our
Why is
ideas
there
and
no?
just make
Why is
fun of
there?
each other.
Hold up. Why is there no senior option for that as well? Like, if I wanted to retake the SAT, to bump
Yeah,
up my
I
score
mean,
a
I
little
think-
bit.
I
don't
understand
know.
where you're coming from, but like you can also say exact same thing as they're changing up the whole credit score system of high schools. Because
Yeah,
it,
they're
like,
changing a lot of
like,
things.
3 years ago, like computer science, like comp sci A principles, right? AP
Comp sci.
AP principles, computer science principles, was
Yeah,
not
right.
considered a language and an extracurricular thing.
Now
Back
it
then,
is.
now it's considered 2 credits in one class. But back then, it was
Yeah,
just
but it
considered
doesn't
an
affect your
extracurricular
GPA
class
though.
back then.
That second credit doesn't affect your GPA.
Yeah, and doesn't it doesn't
Unfortunately.
affect your GPA, but it lets you graduate early.
True.
That is true.
Which
yeah.
I wish I'd known that.
There's been many new credits that's been added to just singular classes that you think, oh no, I just go in 1 credit. No, computer science, you're basically learning a secondary
These
language,
classes,
programming.
True.
Classes in high school don't matter. They don't even prepare you for college.
I mean, some of them.
There's
Most
some
of
of them
them.
do if you
I
wish to go
mean,
to
a lot,
high
a
end
lot, of,
colleges.
a lot of them.
Quite
do. There's
literally
a
is a
lot
college
of
prep
them that
class,
do.
so there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's college prep classes.
AP
Also,
classes. AP
the
classes
classes
also.
that you take in high school can affect how colleges see you. Are you someone that's
True.
worth enough to join
Are
our
you
high privileged
Are
college?
you someone that will take the challenge of the
like
rigorous?
MIT won't
in
get
air
someone with
quotes.
like a 1.7 GPA.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
MIT is going for the higher fucking
One
like
1.7
4.8,
GPA, taking all
4.7.
academic classes.
SAT like fucking 1500, SAT fucking ACT is like 30. Like they want fucking people that put effort or fucking
Yeah,
that tries to put effort and try and be one top.
exactly.
Anthony, have you been doing a good job since you want to go to MIT, apparently?
Yes. Hello.
Have you applied?
I've applied. Dude, I applied like 2 months ago. My friend.
Do you have a response yet?
Dude, we don't get responses until like
Un-
April.
Until like it's time for college.
Until yeah.
Really?
MIT is not like we want you. No, MIT is like you want to be with us, so we.
No,
get
it's
to
because
decide.
I didn't apply for early action, which
Oh, true. I forgot.
kind
You
of
applied for
a
regular.
kind of a mistake on my part, which will definitely decrease the likelihood of me getting into that school. But let's not talk about that.
It doesn't really matter as long as you.
You
you're
could always
college,
go to U of
but
H
you're
I
with
mean,
in college.
it kind of
know?
matters. I don't know what you said.
Go
What?
to U of H with me.
I am definitely not going to U of
Yeah,
H.
no.
No offense to all the people going to U of H. If you want to go to U of H, I respect your decision. It's just not my.
It's just that if you
It's
want to
not
go
my,
to a high-end college, or I mean university, not college, you need to go to a good-ass fucking college. You can't just.
Well,
fucking
what's
go
the
to a
difference
fucking,
between going there or like a community college?
Price.
Price.
I
Price,
mean,
first off. Second off, like you. Imagine this, man. Like you just got out of MIT. People will instantly be on your ass to hire you. Google will be on you. Fucking Microsoft would just be straight on your fucking.
Okay, I think really it depends. If you want to get a career like as soon as you get out of college, university, whatever you go to, you have to go to a school with a good alumni program.
Yes.
You need to go to a school they where people are actively, I guess, I don't know, job searching, or I don't know what the term, employee searching, right? Like they will go to that school. They will set up like a job fair where students can walk around, they can talk about whatever, or the students could have a fair where the employers walk around, they talk to each student, and then they see what would be a good candidate for their job. But
Can you
other than
wait?
that, I'm sorry, was that directed towards me?
No.
I know.
Anyways, I mean,
Here, what school are you going to? Huh?
like I said, I'm going to Lone Star at first, and the reasons I probably will not disclose to this podcast, but
Okay, that was very anticlimactic.
Yeah.
uh-huh.
And y'all should already know my ass. Just because I'm going to Marine Corps. Okay, don't get this shit, man. I might be going to the Marine Corps, but my ass is not gonna fucking lay off. My ass is gonna get at least associates when I fucking leave, and go straight into my master's once I leave fucking the Marine Corps. I'm just using
Free
I'm
college.
just using the military. I'm just using the military as like a stepping stone that can guarantee no debt in the future and just fucking let me do my studies in peace without having stress over work and money.
Do you hear that? You hear that, current students? If you want no debt in the future, join the Marines or any branch of the
Join
military.
any branch, yeah. I'm not
Yeah.
one of those people that are like, oh yeah, only join the Marine
You're not
Corps.
a
You don't join the
recruiter.
Marine Corps. You're
Or you
you're
gonna
shit,
join the
you're
Navy
bad.
first?
No, I was never gonna join anything. I was like, I might join the military as a second hand, but it was like, the jobs here weren't paying enough. I wasn't saving enough money. If I wanted to go straight to college right after high school, I should have been working since my freshman year saving up money. Because it's literally
True.
not worth my time to fucking stress over college. It's not like the classes won't be hard because they're fucking entry level classes. The hard part would be fucking getting time wise, getting fucking schedules, trying to get the money, trying not get into debt, trying not get grants, trying to apply for scholarships. It's like that shit gets stressful, man. And it's like it's
True.
not worth
There's
it.
a lot of competition in it too.
Huh?
There's a lot of competition
Yeah,
between
for
the two.
scholarships, holy fuck, man. I thought you could just fucking walk in and be like, here's my essay, give me the scholarship. Fuck no, man. They actually get like 300, 400 essays just for a scholarship that's like $300. I'm like, yeah, no, what the fuck? My ass
right.
only got 2 scholarships. I'm like, that's only 2 classes out of the fucking 349 classes that I need to pay.
That's only one semester.
That's only one semester, my dude. That's not worth it. And that's one semester without books. One semester
True.
without the apartment rent. One semester without food.
You're just paying for house. That's just housing, my guy.
Yeah, literally, that's just housing.
A lot of people are going to UT, so that's what they're gonna have to deal with.
Well,
Right,
some
yeah.
people, everybody has different situations. We're just
A lot
kind
of the people I know that are
discussing
going
our
to
own
UT
right
are
now.
rooming with other people though, so it's like
What happened? What?
That's the thing. People should try and make like these arrangements with people. Like you're going to Jackson College.
yeah, I don't
Try
think
and
these
try and
things
board
will.
a room together. Try and fucking get an apartment together because you share
I
the
don't-
pay
Yeah.
and you.
I don't
you
think
relieve
these
each
sort
other
of things
fucking,
will
like-
work on their own.
I feel
You
like
can't-
after
it's
high school, a
definitely-
lot of friendships are gonna
it's-
get destroyed as a result of like roommate.
That's why you should get people that you known for like since elementary or middle school. You don't just
That's
get a
definitely-
random person.
See, that's a problem.
Like these
for me
people want
because
to room with
I was
people that
constantly
they've
moving.
known like for only 3 years. It's not gonna work out.
True, but you could, as long as you can like visit their household, you can understand at least how needy that person is. Because what you want for a roommate is not someone that will be awake 3 in the morning screaming their head off. You don't want a roommate that
Me.
would cook at fucking 2 in the morning and not even clean up after themselves. You want a roommate that
Hey,
that
as
has
long
their
as they're
own
cooking for me
schedule
too, I'm fine with
and
that.
and understand that, like this center zone, they have their own room, you have your own room, but there's this center zone, this equal zone that y'all two have to take care of. The living room and the kitchen and the bathroom. Since y'all sharing that shit, y'all should understand that y'all have to take care of it together and not just leave it
Dude,
messy
just get
for
a-
each one to fucking take care
Just
of.
get a 2-bed, 2-bath forehead.
Two bed, two bath, but you still got a living room to take care of, and you still got a kitchen to take care of. And
Not if
no
I
one
don't
does
use
dishes.
it.
What the fuck are you on?
Angela, to be honest, most of these people don't know how to take care of themselves.
In our school, yes. I see that a lot. You can physically smell it on them. You can see
Oh,
you can see
no.
their overall like attitude, their posture, their okay. In the environment I grew up in, I judge people based on like physical aspects. If you smell like shit, you sleep in shit. If
Well,
you look shit,
Understandable.
you don't decide to
that's
put
facts.
effort into your shit.
True.
Like my ass
no,
might
sorry.
look horrible because I don't
Understandable.
get a haircut. But at least I know how to dress well. At least know how to fucking put on cologne. At least know how to put on deodorant. I can at least put like 5 minutes of
Deodorant.
effort into doing my hair. Even though it might look frizzy, but I still fucking most of it is combed down. Like that.
What
That's
hair?
still putting effort into your fucking like who you are.
What
You
hair,
just
Angela?
don't
What
walk.
hair?
Well, that's true. You don't
walk,
have a
you
lot
don't
of hair
walk,
to work
You don't
with,
walk out of your
Angela.
house. You don't walk out of your house with pajamas, going to school or heading to work because
Uh-huh.
that's not proper attire. That's not proper that's not proper at all. It shouldn't. No one should be doing that. You're gonna head out
True.
somewhere. You should look nice, smell nice, act nice. Don't fucking be like a ghetto person. No offense, but there's
mean-
people in our school that act like ghetto. They
Believe it or
act
not,
very
no,
ghetto.
no offense.
Because these
That's
fuckers,
true,
come to the school without fucking like with a smelly ass toenails, unclipped, fucking yellow stained toenails. I'm like, what the fuck? We don't want to see that nor smell that. Why the fuck you coming here with fucking with sandals, motherfucker? Like,
This
get
is
the
like the
fuck- get
same
some
type of
shoes. At
guys
least
who
put on
wear
some
like
fucking socks.
expensive Jordans with ripped jeans and then a fake gold chain.
Since we were on the topic earlier,
Ghetto flex.
surprisingly, a lot of the people that I know that are going to UT, I think they know how to live. So
Okay,
can
because those are
probably
high
confirm
end
that.
people. Because those are people they're like the top 10%, right? Top
I
10%.
mean,
I,
I wouldn't
I,
consider- I
expect.
wouldn't- I wouldn't consider myself high end per se.
I don't know.
Okay, what I consider
not- it's not
smart. What I
it's-
consider
it's
smart
not
is
the-
someone that knows how real life is and doesn't live under their parents' wing 24/7 and not
I
understand
don't
what the
feel
fuck
like we have to
taxes
subject
are.
them to just top 10% standards.
Not
I'm
top
pretty sure a
10%
lot of-
standards, but like just they know how to live by themselves. That's the point.
Even
I'm trying
then,
to make.
some of
Because
these
there's many
top 10%
people-
kids are
there's
dumb.
many people in our school, and y'all can agree or disagree. But what I've seen, there's many people that fucking like they flaunt their parents' money and their parents' jewelry, or what I've seen most of,
Or,
people
fake
get
jewelry.
jobs and waste their money on just trying to flaunt or quote unquote flex their money that they spend hours on.
See,
Yeah.
I waste my money on food. No, I'm kidding. um, no, yeah, I get it.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm putting shit in like criteria, like top 10%. That's well, I wasn't trying to mean that. It was just like, I expect the top 10% to be able to be people that like can organize their time, people that know when to study, know when to eat, know when to shower, know when to do shit, man. Because like it's a day thing. When you're in college, you have to study. You have to fucking clean after yourself. You have to fucking cook for yourself. You got to understand the basics of that if you want to fucking live throughout college. Because you're not gonna live 4 years eating ramen noodles. I promise you that much.
That's true.
Shit, I mean, I might
A lot of
have
these
to.
people don't know how to cook.
And that's the point I'm making. There's people in our school that I know they don't know how to fucking cook. Because I've
Especially,
seen them. I've seen them in the cooking class. What
you took it?
culinary?
Culinary.
No, I didn't take it. You
Cul-
can physically smell
culinary.
it when you cross. Like people
Yeah,
burn
you can
shit.
see. You can.
Yeah,
People
that's true.
burning eggs, man. Just making
Dude,
regular
that
eggs.
was like the entirety of last year.
For real, it's like people don't
They
even know
were
how to make a
so-
good scrambled egg without overcooking or burning the egg. I'm like, how? What type of shit, man? Like,
Well,
you know, your ass not gonna get no wife, no husband if y'all can't even fucking cook proper eggs.
It's fucking raw.
Fucking burnt, not raw. You can eat it raw. You can eat raw eggs and nothing bad is really gonna happen with you.
I
as
mean
long as you have good
salmonella, but
digestive
other
system.
than that,
Like you.
Uh, damn son.
Do you eat raw eggs, Angelo?
No, I
Are
eat
you
it.
one of
I eat it.
those?
I eat it
Are
more
you one of
more
those workout
cooked than
guys?
raw. But it matters what you consider raw because some people people
All right.
boil their eggs and like you just try and pick yellow. It's just
Let's have a poll in the chat or in the comments. How do you guys eat your eggs?
No,
Over
who
easy,
cares, Anthony? I
over
don't care
medium,
about these people's
over hard,
opinions. They don't matter to me.
scrambled? Shut up, Moises. I am the host, all right? I'm trying to get some community interactions just to get us started. Let me retry this. Let me retry this. In the comments below, please let us know, how do you guys like your eggs? And if you don't eat eggs, well, you're missing out. All right, let's move on.
yeah. Sorry for going
Nice.
on a tangent there, guys. Just I just
That's
expressed
the whole point of
myself.
the
That's the whole
podcast.
point of the
That's the whole
podcast,
point
my
of the
guy.
podcast,
But,
dude.
you know.
To record, to make sure our voices become a legacy. Anyways, we are currently at the 31-minute mark. Wow, we're actually pretty close to being done for this episode. Um,
Let's see what else. What else
as you
can we
can
talk
see,
about?
we
We can talk.
we have nothing planned for this episode.
Okay. What about
It's our
okay?
first
How about this?
episode. Our
Ha-
next episodes are gonna be way better.
Okay,
So
how about this? Let's
Yeah,
let's
this is
let's
just
go
establishing.
completely off like the original topic that we're on. What y'all think about Project A, the demo that came out? What y'all think?
Oh, okay. So
I
I actually
have no
saw.
opinion
I
because I have
actually
not
have a
seen it.
very low opinion of the game right now. Surprisingly,
Hmm.
All
I
right.
think the game. I think what they showed. It looks very sloppy, and I think it will change when the game actually comes out. It looks really sloppy from like in terms of how movement seems from the trailer from the like 3 gameplay trailers I saw. It seems sort of sloppy right now. I can see it changing, but you know, it is a game that's still in beta, and it's still like people are still trying to get their hands on it and like review it and such. But from the gameplay trailer that I saw, a lot of the abilities just look like giant like power creeps.
Yeah.
So there is a wall hack like a wall hack mechanic you can utilize, and that's like sort of going against fundamental like that's sort of favoring like advantage and disadvantage state, because then it's pretty much just like if you play early or late game like really well, you'll get rewarded with good stuff. It's not like Counter Strike where you can manage to clutch yourself through rounds. There's gonna be a lot of cheese and a lot of bullshit that goes into it. So I can, from what I've heard and from what I've also been seeing, a lot of the movement is very similar to Counter Strike. It's just B hop. The B hop mechanic is not as.
As efficient.
It's a lot slower than
Not sure.
Counter Strike bunny hop, so you won't get any mileage off of it. So a lot of your movement will come down to like certain classes and abilities you choose, I guess. But I don't know. It looked really cool in the first trailer, like we were able to watch in November. But with the recent trailer, it looks kind of sloppy at the moment. I don't have high hopes aside from like the net code right now. The net code actually I think will be really
Yeah.
good because it's Riot. Riot always dishes out good ass net code for their games. So
Would you like to explain what netcode is for the people who have no idea what netcode is?
basically it's like the essentially the connection your system will establish with the server, and when you're playing a game and such. So I'm gonna give the Street Fighter example, and this is where delay comes into effect. Street Fighter has this thing called rollback, which rollback netcode is the worst because it doesn't really work with how the systems are designed. So a lot of times Street Fighter has delay. So people who are like playing Street Fighter professionally, they experience a lot of delay when they're playing.
I like fighters.
Smash Ultimate and Fighter Z have the same thing. Their onlines are not good. In fact, a lot of fighting games have very poor online, but a lot of shooters surprisingly have a good online. Um, Counter Strike has a really good online netcode.
Si-
And I think
Siege.
Project A will have a much better netcode. And from what I've seen, the anti cheat it actually works really well without like having the other bullshit come into factor. Or Siege, you can get randomly banned for like random shit. But I think Project A will be. I'll definitely play it when it comes out. Um, I'm not that impressed by this latest trailer. It just looks like Paladins with some CS:GO core game mechanics.
I like Paladins better than Overwatch, actually.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your input.
Paladins and TF2 are better than Overwatch. Overwatch is a trash game.
Okay, so my opinion on the game is hopefully this is what I hope that they will try and lead up to. Based on the based on the trailers that I've seen as well. Hopefully it's a good hero first person shooter, but it's not just run in and whoever can get the headshots will instantly just beat the whole other team. I want it to be like DPS, like sort of like tactical to it. It has to be tactical. If you're gonna play support, you can't just run in there and just expect to kill everyone. You can't just be a regular old DPS and run in there and be like,
If you're gonna play support, you
better play
better
support,
support
correct?
your team. You better play support.
Like hopefully Project A, from what I've seen, they could actually make it into a tactical first person hero shooter and not just make
Oh,
it a run and gun, just go in there, spam abilities and try and get as many people as you can because you have better aim than them.
the name for Project A is actually Valorant. That's the name they came up with. But
Wow.
see, here's that thing, right? I feel like the former like is a lot more efficient than the latter there because the thing is with with these type of games when you're trying to go with a very simplistic movement style, I think having mechanics that can literally like give you wall hacks or like a speed boost.
Why don't
Like,
you
you
Now,
gotta
now
become
you're
shit
a
like
like
sort
that,
of
now
coder
shit like
then?
that, they could downgrade it or not implement it
those
at
are
all.
just like giant ass power creeps to me, and
Yes,
you're not really
yes,
playing your role. You're just playing like some random. You're just playing your class at that point. You're not playing your role.
yes. I
Yeah.
understand.
I think.
That's
I
that.
think.
That's what happened with Overwatch because it wasn't about roles
I feel
anymore.
like
It's just playing.
it's sort of falling in the same trap Overwatch tried to do, but like Overwatch had like different modes
See,
and shit. So
I feel so. I don't really have an opinion because I haven't been keeping up with this, but I feel like in order, like when they release the game, obviously they're gonna be people who uh dislike certain aspects of it, or some people will like if they do a good job, people will like the game, but there has to be something wrong that needs to be fixed because it's a first release. um it's like the very first version. It's a test version
It's
essentially.
probably gonna have to be some sort of movement, or they're either gonna change like the super special abilities, like the wall hacks, like how Shahir was talking about, or they're gonna change the movement speed. There's gonna be some way to affect your movement to become faster or strafe better or be able to be hop better, like certain stuff like that, right? They have to affect one of those. Either special abilities they have to be downgraded, or their movement speed and movement overall has to increase.
yeah,
Like you can't just predict because based
Minecraft.
on what Shahir is saying and what I've seen as well, it's true because their movement is sort of linear and you can actually predict where they go. Like you can instantly read them within like just a couple anti strays and you already know where the fuck they're going within like two or three anti strays and done headshot done. He's gone.
yeah,
It's
and
sort of
that's
it is kind of like CS, not you're gonna be
yeah,
facing them straight on without majority of the time without any cover. Majority
dude.
of
A
the time
lot
you're
of
gonna
How
have
do
like
I
the
like
get
fuck,
good at
animation
CS?
advantage, but that's it.
dude. A lot
How
of the
do I
fucking
get
shit
good
I'm
at
seeing on
CS?
social media is like so upsetting too. A lot of so obviously this has a lot of the CS community heated because of the whole agenda, like the whole quote unquote comparison people are often making to Counter Strike.
And
Like the game obviously is more similar to Counter Strike. People are going to be like it's going to be the Counter Strike killer. I don't think it's going to be the case at all because Counter Strike is like
I kind of
its own
want Counter
thing.
Strike to die because I'm bad at
Its
it.
own it's its own thing and it's like it's been living for almost 20 years without like any like sort of it. I mean, there was like a time and period where it was dying in a little bit in 2017 and 2018, but like recently, Valve has so I'm not sure if you guys read the article on how Valve actually you know works their games, but they have all of their games designed in the studio, and when they are working on a project, they have a lot of team members shift a lot through games. So what ended up happening with TF2 is a lot of people had lost inspiration to continue working on TF2.
So we're not gonna get a
So now
TF3.
the game does not get any updates anymore. So what ends up happening is a lot of the developers for TF2 they moved to a different game. So that's what ended up happening with CS:GO, where a lot of team members were focusing on the game and dishing out updates. And this is also where Half-Life Alex comes in. A lot of the people working on Half-Life Alex have been just working on getting that shit dished out, and it's coming out like this month. Actually, I don't have a VR headset or like a Steam headset or anything, but I wish I did. But I'm gonna watch the fuck out of people playing that because I love Half Life. So,
How much
but
is
yeah,
it?
it's like the reason why TF2 is sort of like on the decline. I mean, there's a lot of other factors that go into it, like such as the player base becoming a little smaller, and a lot of the workers or like the devs not having enough inspiration to continue
This game is
moving on the
so old.
project.
Yeah.
CS:GO has a very adamant and very powerful community. So it generally gets its voice heard a lot more than the other communities, I would say. Um, but back to what I was saying, there's like a huge tension between people who are trying to like get into Project A and people who are trying to get into CS because people are afraid that, or people are just saying that the game just looks like shit because it's not like CS. But I don't like these empty, like these empty thoughts going into these things because it's really just not constructive at all. I think we should just wait till the game comes out and start basing our actual knowledge and start comparing the games then. I don't think we should compare the games based off of three gameplay trailers that we've seen so far. And
Portal.
yeah, I think Project A actually looks really fun. I just hope that it lives up to like expectations. Right now it's like sort of in that middle mark, and I'm sort of a little underwhelmed, but other than that, I think it's fine. I think it'll have a pretty big player base at the launch too, so.
Okay.
And it's coming out in summer 2020, so yeah.
So
Alrighty.
so going on the aspect of like going back to what you said about like making it what was it, an Overwatch killer or something like that?
A
Okay.
Counter-Strike killer.
Counter Strike killer, right? I hate how people make comparisons without, just like you said, they're making comparisons without actually getting more info on the game and just based on aspect. Exact same thing happened on a game that was I highly recommend, but because it was shut down because the company became bankrupt and went through a lot of shit, right? A good game because it was code name a fucking Overwatch ripoff, but people never really played it or knew the mechanics behind it, was Gigantic. It was
Yeah.
such a good fucking game. The overall mechanic was like you play this role. There's just like there's these classes, and then you play a certain role with that class. But the role of that class could have changed easily. So like you chose a class that was meant for support, but you could change that support to a support DPS, a support like a full out support, a support DPS, or support like tank, right? Or you could be a tank and then a tank support, or a tank DPS, or a tank based on the option of like how the game goes, right?
Right, yeah.
Throughout the game, you could upgrade abilities and all that, and that was Gigantic's thing. An example of that is Paladins, but Paladins goes by items and not just overall upgrade of like the
Mhm.
character, right? And that's another thing. Paladins was nicknamed another Overwatch ripoff, even though they're nothing alike.
Overwatch is
Their
trash.
overall their
Yeah, people just
gameplay the
look at
gameplay is a bit alike, but like their overall mechanics of the game are just fundamentally different, and how the game is played is also fundamentally different, man.
Yeah, this happens a lot in the shooting genre. I've seen it a lot in these like circles.
What are you guys'
Uh,
thoughts on Apex
but
Legends?
honestly though,
Hold up,
um,
Moises, hold up.
Okay.
but I've been in the fighting game community for quite a long time, and I've seen, especially in the anime fighting game community, um, games like those are generally similar in fundamentals, yet people aren't really complaining about them. I'm assuming it's because how the game like how characters are played and such,
Well,
and
name an
like
example.
different like I'm gonna compare Guilty Gear and Grand Blue Fantasy, which
Yeah.
right now I'm trying to get my hands on Grand Blue Fantasy. They're both like fundamentally the same. You can play one and be like okay at the other, but you know the same can be said with Overwatch and Paladins. You can play one and be really good at the other.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
because
that's sort of that relationship.
they're first person shooters. But the thing about
First
But I
gigantic,
think Paladins and Overwatch is the exact same thing as Guilty Gear and Grand Blue. I think that those two relationships are definitely the same.
yes, yes,
So I
but
don't like how people overlook these things and just like be like, oh, this shit is gonna kill
yeah.
this. I think it's
They're
objectively
just
different though.
one is a rip off of the other, even though the mechanics are completely different of how the game
Yeah.
overall is. Just because it's a hero shooter, it doesn't mean that over is gonna be a rip off of this other hero shooter that's more popular. That's the thing that happened with
Yeah.
Gigantic. Gigantic wasn't really a hero shooter, so to say, right?
Right.
It
Yeah.
just because you had long range options, it was considered a hero shooter. Even though majority of the characters was basically divided into rangers and then melee, like. But the people still consider it as a hero shooter because some abilities were like, oh, you're melee, well you can grab a rock and throw the rock. That's your range. And people were like, oh, it's a hero shooter, and Gigantic just fell off. The company fucking became bankrupt. And the thing that caught my attention, the overall company, even though it fucking shut down and became bankrupt, the developers were still dedicated and still ran the servers and still updated the game until like 2016, 2017, if I'm correct.
Dude, I swear these
Until
fucking
they had
people are
no
the
more
same as the people who want.
like funding for it. Like they did part time jobs at like McDonald's and all that to work hard on this game with their own proper money, but they're like, we can't put any more money into this. They're literally becoming homeless working on this. Just like what happened with Cuphead. What happened
Right.
with Cuphead?
Yeah.
They sold their house, they sold everything to work on Cuphead. That's basically
Cuphead
what happened.
actually
with-
did.
Cuphead was a great game.
Cuphead
was
actually
a
did really well.
fucking great
And that
ass
game was only developed by like 10 almost
But the
5
thing is,
people or something.
Cuphead was kind of like its own thing, its own idea.
Yeah.
That's why it became
Most
popular.
toxic fan
Cuphead-
base.
Yeah,
But if
Cuphead
another
created-
game, if a game before Cuphead came out before Cuphead, people would be like, Cuphead it's just a rip off of this
It's
game.
just a copy of this game.
People wouldn't be playing it. Cuphead wouldn't be as popular as it is now if it was compared to another game that's more popular than what it is.
It's
Those,
funny
yeah,
how
those are basically indie games in a nutshell.
it's yeah, but like, you know,
It's also why like choose to support indie developers a lot more than I choose to support
AAA titles.
AAA titles. I would support there is one I support like retro art games and like the
Uh-huh.
games that develop like titles here in America. But the specific reason why I don't choose to support developers from Japan is because of their working standards and their working situation over there. People get laid off all the time. People hardly
Overworked.
get work.
They're
People are
overworked.
overworked. Workaholics are like
Like
all over
what
the
y'all
place.
see in anime of like people doing like these like death marches of people sleeping in the office to work on it because of deadline. That's an actual thing, man.
yeah, it's like very
like
scary.
if you ever decide to go to Japan and you know anyone that works in a fucking just office work or a game developer, ask if you can just come in one day and be like just chill there and see
Like,
how they work. They work
don't-
in such a cramped
Yeah,
and unfucking like comfortable shit.
I'm
like
actually gonna give an
like if they
example.
could
Hey,
at
work
least
at
the
Google,
owners are
they
making
would
money.
fucking work at Google.
okay, I'm actually gonna give an example. The anime industry is a perfect example of this.
Anime, yeah,
And
anime industry is
Gaming
it is.
and anime industry both, because
Okay,
they-
okay. Hold up. I feel like This is a very good teaser for the next episode because we got to wrap this up soon.
All
All
right,
right,
that's
all
fair.
right,
All
all
right.
right. Fair, fair.
So, on that note, I'm not really sure how far we are because my
We got
recording,
51, 50 minutes.
okay, there we go. My recording, my recording method kind of crashed on me, so I had to restart. It's okay though because I still have everything we talked about. But on that note, thank you guys for listening to our podcast, our very first episode. Once again, my name's Anthony.
My name
Anyone
is Shahir.
My name's Angelo.
Tempest.
And this was the Shitted Podcast. All right. Adios.
Adios.
Bye.
Hasta luego.
We got to figure out a better outro.